Hey guys, this is Henry8 and we're back. Now, previously I was doing a tutorial on how to make an AQW Plushie, and we're going to continue that tutorial today. In the last tutorial, we learned how to make the plushie base. In this tutorial, we're going to make the actual plushie. Now, to do that, first we're going to go to our plushie base file, and we're going to file, save as, and you can save this as anything you want. I'm going to save this as plushie tutorial. And now we're going to need a reference of what we want the plushie to look like. So I'm going to make a new window. I'm going to Google search. You can actually search however you want. I'm just going to go to AQWorld's wiki. And I'm going to go to search here. I'm going to go for potato sack, so I won't bore you with lots of time trying to replicate it. Something simple. Copy image. And now I'm going to go to my reference layer. I'm going to paste this image in here. Then I'm going to lock my reference layer, go to body layer, unlock it. Click this little button here, which will make it so only the defining lines of my objects in this layer show, and it will show the color of this square, little square here, the button, unless two buttons have the same colors. Then I think it will randomly pick a different color for that button. Now, first I'm going to draw a line down the middle of this picture, right about there. That's pretty good. So now I'm going to zoom in, and I'm going to use my line tool to just trace around this, and then I'll use my selection tool to bend the lines to be a little bit nicer. Let's see here. Let's get this pretty nice. You know, it doesn't have to be perfect, because it's going to get way shrunken down to fit the actual plushie base. The images you tend to bring in tend to be larger, 10:10, not very smooth on the wording. Still, this is only my second tutorial I've done with a microphone, so I'm working on it. Maybe we can zoom in a little. I don't care that much, but I'll just zoom in because automatically certain snapping to lines things are set, which means that lines you draw with the line tool will snap to certain positions, and it can be a little bit funky sometimes, and you just have to zoom in, and it can change the way things snap to each other. So if you're not getting it, it's always a good idea to try a different view. Okay, so I'm almost done with the outline here. And you always want lines to come into the center line, well, almost always straight, because remember, we're going to duplicate this. This is half of the body. So we're going to duplicate it, reverse it, and put them together. So remember that lines will come together exactly the same way from each side, unless you of course bend it. But we're not covering complex ways of doing this in this tutorial. So let's zoom in here, get the shading. And you want to again trace the shading with the line tool. Later we'll go back with the eraser tool set to faucet mode to get this erased. So, because this is Flash works in vector graphics, so you have to define the areas in which shading goes, so that it can be scaled up and the computer can use geometrical, or I think geometrical equations to figure out exactly where the shading would go if the image was bigger. So, but we're not getting into that here. I hate that. The snapping can get really annoying. But it's useful, you know. It's really useful, so we'll keep it on. It's always good to save. So saving is important. I mean, otherwise, what would we have? It's a philosophical question for you. Not really. Unless you want it to be. That's philosophical. Okay, that's pretty good. Now that we've got that, we're gonna uncheck this box here, and then we're gonna modify lag, combine objects union. We're gonna drag it over. Then we're gonna unlock the reference layer. We use our eyedropper tool to get these colors from it. And now we're just gonna use the paint bucket tool to put them in here. There. Now we're gonna use E, the erase tool, set to faucet mode, and we're just gonna click on the lines we want to erase, and we're gonna just take them out of here. That's pretty good. Now we're gonna erase this line running down the center, and we're also gonna erase the outline. Here we go. Okay, there we go. We're gonna save this. Saving's always good. Very important lesson. And we have this weird, I'm just gonna reset designer mode. I had some weird settings on it. It's not very good. God, I need to reset again. What did I do? Control A, don't even know what that does. Should, but I don't. And set this the way I like it. So now we're gonna click on this, we're gonna reverse it, -100, and type -100 in the width in the transform panel. And we're gonna fit these two things together. Let's zoom in, make them fit pretty nicely. That looks pretty good. Now if it's like this and you don't quite like how it looks when it comes together, you can make some changes to it to make it look a little bit nicer. There. That looks a little bit nicer. So now we're gonna modify combine objects union. And now we've got this kind of cross patch thing on the chest of this potato sack guy. And those kinds of irregularities are things that you will add later. So this is later. So now we're gonna have to change our line tool to that kind of color, because this isn't some area of coloring and it's basically just lines. We're gonna want our line tool, and we're just gonna trace that in that color. So that's about this darker color on the potato sack. So we're gonna go here and we're gonna use our eyedropper to copy this. And we're gonna go in here and we're gonna Control C, copy the hex code. And now we're going to go to our outline color, and we're going to go to the hex code here, and we're going to paste it in, Control V. Okay, now we're going to go over here, and we're going to zoom in, and we're just going to trace this. And line tool once again. Let's see. I mean, you could use the pen tool or something, which you would normally use to do your own art. But the line tool is really easy to use to just trace stuff that's in Flash. See, making a plushie is fairly easy because it's more of a conceptual thing of what would this look like if it were from a different perspective and less a thing of see, so I did this again. I zoomed in, not a good thing. Sorry about this. Well, 1 second, I'll be right back. Sorry about that little interruption. There we go. Zoomed out. Sorry about that. Still learning the keys of my recording program. Been a while, but you know, takes a while to learn. Learning's a process. And we're gonna combine this cross hatchet, modify combine objects union. And we're going to change this outline color back to black. It's always good to have it at black because most of the time that's what you want. So I'm just going to drag this over here. And use the free transform tool to make it look a little bit more right, you know. Bring it up so it looks a little bit more like it's from a frontal view. That looks pretty good. So now we're going to modify combine objects union. And this is our basic body. So we're making progress. So we're gonna take this, drag this over here, and we're gonna get rid of everything except the body layer. Body layer is very important. So now we're gonna size this down. Oh, and the reference too. We want to see what it looks like. We're gonna see a little bit of neck here. So just keep that in mind when you're sizing this thing down. And because the plushie is a little more square, head's a little bit fatter than a normal person, so it looks kind of cute, you know, how you like it. It's not gonna be exactly the same as the way the armor looks, so you might have to widen it a little bit, you know, so it fits. I'm just using this mode so I can see if it goes over fully or exactly how it goes over and that kind of stuff. And let's see, it does go below the legs because this kind of the butt level, so it goes about to there, you know. We've got our potato sack. Boom. Wow, that's great. Okay, so now we're gonna modify combine objects union in the body, and now we're going to go and we need to color this in. This little bit in here, you see, this is neck, and remember, this is gonna be shadowed. So what did we use? We used FFCC 99 for the actual color. So we're gonna go in here and we're gonna maybe something a little bit lighter. We're gonna go for, let's see, FFCC 66. Okay, we'll go for this. One shade light, darker. Yeah, that's pretty good. Now we'll erase that line there, and we'll see how it looks against the head layer. Well, you don't really even see it there, but that's the idea. And we're also going to erase the outline around the head, you know. Outlines are evil. So we're going to lock the body layer, unlock the head. Get rid of that outline. Boom. And we'll see what has an outline. The eyes have an outline. And I think I did a pretty good job in the eyes. Look pretty cute, you know. Big anime eyes. Or a roundish face, you know, it looks good. Now that we've got this, we're actually going to erase the lines on every layer. I mean, you can do this in your base. I don't know, I kind of like to have the way it goes. And what color? The feet in this are actually his actual feet. Now, you can make more complicated feet so they resemble feet more. I'm actually not going to do this on this one. I mean, it doesn't really matter how you do it. Because it's a plushie, it doesn't have to be exactly the way it looks. Or for that matter, not really. So I'm just going to get this color from here. Then we need a brighter color to put there. Maybe this pinkish thing. Ooh, that doesn't look right. No, I'm not Beavis about it. Okay, so now we're gonna get rid of this head here, and we're gonna get this color from here. God, I wish that the color scheme, the way you pick colors, worked the same way in Flash CS5. I just got Flash CS6. It does not. It works in some weird way. So I mean, what are you gonna do? I say that too much. We'll try it like this. I mean. You know, you really Adobe, I don't know why you chose to do it this way. This was not a good idea. We'll just make it a little bit different. I mean, it's a little bit weird the way this works. Okay. I mean, that looks about right. I mean, what are you gonna do? Spending a long time coloring this in does not make me look like I know what I'm doing. Okay, that's pretty good. We'll just go with that. I mean, I keep saying we'll just go with that, but I always change my mind. God. Okay, that is, I think, is as good as we're gonna get here. I mean, maybe body layer, head layer, or get rid of that. Okay, that looks good. I don't know why I didn't do that earlier, but that looks good. Or does it? Dun dun dun. Okay, I'm wasting a lot of time. If you want to, you can just skip this part of the tutorial. It's not really much of a tutorial. It's more like an inner debate on exactly how colorful the feet should be. Anyway, as soon as I say that, it's too yellow. I don't want, this isn't some weird yellow doll thing. Okay, we'll just go with this. Go with it, you know. I think the problem is that these things just, they don't look enough like feet, you know what I mean? So I'm just going to change the shading a little. They just don't look like feet to me. Still doesn't look like feet, but this is better. That was the solution all along, you know? Okay. Now that we've got that, what don't we have? Well, on this thing, I mean, there aren't much of any shoulders to it. I don't think we'll be wanting to add shoulders to this. So, because we don't want to add shoulders to this, I mean, we could add shoulders. We'll add shoulders for the purposes of the tutorial. Again, we'll go to shoulder layer. We'll just pick one of the shoulders, and we're just going to trace that. Da-na-na-na. You know, like, shake. Can't touch that. Da-da-da-da-da. It's catchy stuff. I mean, gotta love that. We'll just add something in here. Make it look pretty good. Because we don't really know what's there. So we'll guess. Guess. Oh, my line tool should be in object mode. Okay, now we've got that, we'll modify combine objects union, drag this out here, turn off outline mode, use unlock reference layer, blah 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 blah. Erase the lines again. And trust me, even if the thing you're erasing the lines around is black, you will notice the difference. So now we'll shrink this down to the appropriate size. And I don't know what I'm humming. It's not professional. This is kind of a long tutorial. I mean, what are you gonna do? There, that looks good. That blends in. So now we're gonna copy this, lock this layer, go to the left shoulder layer, paste this layer in. I mean this shoulder in. And this is 63%, so we're gonna type -63. Okay. Now we're gonna lock these layers, and the only thing we don't have is hair. Well, let's see. I'm gonna go back to AQ World's wiki. I left it up for this purpose, and we're just gonna go. I don't know. hairs. I don't know, hair. Let's see what comes up. Sorry about the rustling. I was just repositioning the mic. So, you know, Naruto hair. That Roku, but I mean it's Naruto. You can that's pretty awesome hair. I mean, who doesn't like Naruto hair? So I copied that image, and I'm gonna get rid of what's currently in my reference layer. This potato sack guy. I'm gonna replace Naruto. I mean, Naruto and a potato sack. Who doesn't dig that? No, nobody. That's right. Well, one guy didn't. Now he's dead. See, you can clearly tell I'm well cultured. You know where that's comes. So now clearly these spikes are basically just duplicated. So we really only have to trace one of these guys. Let's just trace this here. If only the colors were more different. We'll double click on this. This is a good lesson. If the color just doesn't work, you can change it by going like that. That color just didn't work for this. We'll have to zoom in to get this right. Oh, once again, zooming in. Sorry about that. I don't know why. I think like holding control for too long triggers it or something. I'll have to fix that after this tutorial. Sorry. I don't have time to do it right now. I mean, technically I could pause the tutorial to do it, but I don't want to have that kind of confusing time lapse. So now we will color this in. Okay, erase the lines. Now, especially with something that you duplicate multiple times, it's important to erase the lines before you duplicate it. Got that little weird space in there that you want to fill in. I mean, you can, the reason why I picked the potato sack and Naruto hair, besides for being awesome, is that, I mean, it applies to almost anything that you do. Clearly here, what we have is something that's easy to duplicate. So right now we're just going to do half of this, and then later on we'll duplicate this. But like the potato sack, I'll explain as we go. I know this is kind of a long tutorial, but you know. Okay, position his multiple spikes of hair. Takes a while, you know. Such complex hair. It may look, well, it may look a little complex now, but you know, it will come together when we stop looking at it as an outline and combine them. Then overlapping lines will be combined, and it will look a lot simpler than it does now. Now it just looks like a mess. Everybody knows that Naruto hair is awesome. No, you gotta power through it. For all those who are thinking of leaving this tutorial now, I mean, well, I guess I've wasted your time enough. Though I think if you've already watched it this long, then you should just finish. I mean, it's a long tutorial. I would speed it up, but then I would have this complex thing, and I'm not very good with editing it, so you'll just have to deal with it if you want to watch it. Okay, that looks a lot. Now we're gonna modify combine objects union, and now we've got something that looks like this. Maybe it's more like Sonic hair. I don't know. I had to get that little bit to cover up the middle part of his hair where they all come together, and I didn't have one, and I already combined them, so I had to go back a couple steps. And it's kind of a nice effect. I mean, I didn't plan it this way, but this hair was a good example of how to do hair. I'm gonna bring this to front. Fix the hair. I mean, part of this is just knowing how the hair should look. I mean, it comes with practice, if at all. You can tell me how good of a job I'm doing on the hair in the comments. Yay, that wasn't just a scam to get you to comment. That's looking good, so. Now we've got our hair. So now that we've got our hair, we'll move it over here. And oh, now I notice that there's this little gap. Fill in any gaps that you need to. So now I need to shrink it way down, maybe like 20%. I mean, I could have gotten the headband there. I just didn't really want it. This hair doesn't really makes him look kind of like a nerd. I don't know. Only works in Naruto. Maybe I will get that headband. I mean, in a lot of things, it's a question of how complex do you want to make it. Here, I just want a simple band, so I'm not going to do any of the shading. I'll pick kind of the color in the middle. There, that's good. That's real good. So, now that I've spent about 5 minutes on the hair, we will modify combine objects union, and we'll see how does that hair look on him. I mean, I think that it's a little bit wider than this. The band is about that high. Fix the corners a little bit. Now that we've got our hair done, we can delete our reference layer because we won't be referencing anything else. God, that hair doesn't fit. Okay, but past that, I mean, next, the only thing we have left to do here is we need to color our eyes. So we're gonna unlock our eye layers. Coloring the eyes, really simple here. So it's a trick I learned. I didn't really think of it till earlier, but here's what we're gonna do. So first, we're gonna choose our two colors. This is Naruto here. I mean, we need shocking, awesome blue eyes. Okay, so this is gonna be our bright color, and we're gonna copy this. Copy. Now we're gonna click on our eyes, go linear gradient. I don't know what it is. Okay, go linear gradient. And we're gonna click on our lighter color and oh God, I keep doing that to myself. Copy this. Paste it in here. And now we need our darker color, which will take this. It's normally good on the color palette to take a color about a space down with a space separating them. And we're going to take this one and we're going to paste this in here. Now we take the lighter color, which was this for us, and we're going to paste it in this oval here. So now we've got this really nice eye. And now we just repeat the thing to the other eye. Same exact process. Oops, okay. I had the darker color, so I need to do it in here. Okay, now that we've got that done, well, I think we're done here. Okay, we're done. And this is our tutorial on how to make an AQW plushie. Thanks for watching. Comment, rate, subscribe. And I know it looks kind of bad, but I mean the hair, bad choice. Just gotta love that Naruto hair. Oh wait, okay. I thought we were done here. We are not. I colored the eyes differently. Looks a little bit weird. Sorry about that. I know. Really amateur tutorialist. Yeah, but got a fancy name for it, huh? That's all you need. There we go. Okay. There we go. Comment, rate, subscribe. Okay, see you later, guys.